Are you ready to witness one of the most shocking trades in recent Maple Leafs history? Because what happened today just turned the entire hockey world upside down, and honestly, I'm still trying to process the magnitude of this move. The Toronto Maple Leafs just acquired Brandon Carlo from the Boston Bruins. Yes, you heard that right. The Boston Bruins. The same team that has haunted our dreams in countless playoff battles. The same organization that represents everything we love to hate about hockey rivalries. Just handed us one of their most reliable defensemen. This isn't just any trade, folks. This is like your worst enemy suddenly deciding to help you move apartments. It's bizarre, it's unprecedented, and it's absolutely brilliant. Let me paint you a picture of just how insane this really is. When was the last time you saw the bitter rivals actually strengthen each other through a trade? These are franchises that have been at each other's throats for decades. Every meeting between these teams feels like a grudge match. Every hit carries extra malice, and every goal celebration comes with that extra dose of satisfaction when it's against the other team. Yet here we are, watching Brad Treliving and Don Sweeney shake hands over a deal that nobody saw coming. But before we dive deeper into the shock factor, let's talk about what Toronto actually got in this trade. Brandon Carlo isn't just some rental player or depth addition. We're talking about a 28-year-old defenseman who has been a cornerstone of Boston's blue line for nearly a decade. This guy has logged 617 NHL games, all with the Bruins, accumulating 29 goals and 129 points while maintaining an impressive plus 129 rating. Those aren't flashy numbers, but they tell the story of consistency, reliability, and defensive excellence that Toronto has been desperately craving. Carlo brings something to this Maple Leafs roster that we haven't had in years: legitimate shutdown ability. This is a player who thrives in the dirty areas of the ice, who steps in front of slap shots without hesitation, who can eat up penalty kill minutes like it's his favorite meal. When you look at Toronto's defensive struggles over the past several seasons, particularly in high-pressure situations, Carlo represents the antidote to those problems. What makes this acquisition even more valuable is the term remaining on Carlo's contract. We're not talking about a desperate playoff rental here. Carlo is signed through the 2026-27 season at a very manageable $4.1 million cap hit. That means Toronto gets 3.5 more seasons of proven defensive reliability without breaking the bank or mortgaging their salary cap future in today's NHL. Finding that kind of value is like striking gold. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. What Toronto gave up to make this happen. The centerpiece going back to Boston is Fraser Minten, the 20-year-old prospect who was selected 38th overall in the 2022 draft. This one stings a little, not gonna lie. Minten had shown real promise in his brief NHL appearances this season, tallying to goals and for points in just 15 games while demonstrating the kind of hockey IQ that gets scouts excited about a player's future potential. In all, Minten was putting together a solid campaign with 6 goals and 13 points, showing the development trajectory that had Leafs management believing he could be a meaningful contributor down the road. Trading away young talent always carries risk, especially when that prospect has already shown he can compete at the NHL level. But sometimes you have to give up future potential to address present needs, and Toronto's need for defensive stability was becoming impossible to ignore. This is where we need to trust the vision that Brad Treliving and his management team have for this roster. They clearly believe that the window for this core group is right now, not 3 or 4 years down the line when Minten might be reaching his peak. When you have players like Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander in their prime, you maximize that opportunity by surrounding them with complementary pieces that can help win immediately, and that's exactly what Brandon Carlo represents. The kind of player who makes everyone around him better. He's not going to put up highlight reel numbers or dominate social media discussions about individual performances, but he's going to be the guy who allows Toronto's offensive stars to take more risks knowing there's reliable coverage behind them. He's going to be the player who steps up in crucial penalty kill situations during playoff games. He's going to be the steady presence that championship teams are built around. The psychological impact of this trade cannot be understated either. For years, the Maple Leafs have been criticized for being too soft, too pretty, too focused on skill without enough attention to the grittier aspects of playoff hockey. Adding a player who spent his entire career learning how to win with one of the league's most successful franchises sends a clear message about the direction This organization wants to go. Carlo has been through multiple deep playoff runs with Boston. He understands what it takes to perform when the stakes are highest, when every shift matters, when mistakes get magnified under the pressure of championship-level hockey. That experience and mentality is invaluable for a Toronto team that has struggled to get over the hump in recent postseason appearances. The timing of this trade also speaks to Toronto's confidence in their current roster construction, rather than waiting until the trade deadline and potentially facing increased competition and inflated prices. They struck early to address their most glaring need. This proactive approach suggests that management believes this team, with the right defensive additions, can compete with anyone in the Eastern Conference. Looking at the broader implications, this trade might signal that Toronto is just getting started with their roster improvements. Having addressed the blue line with Carlo's addition, they now have more flexibility to explore other areas where upgrades might be beneficial, whether that means adding depth scoring, improving special teams personnel, or bringing in additional veteran leadership. This move creates options that weren't available before. The fact that this trade happened with Boston also opens up interesting possibilities for future transactions. If these two rivals can find common ground once, it proves that hockey is ultimately a business where good deals can transcend traditional animosities. While I wouldn't expect to see regular trade activity between these franchises, this breakthrough could establish a precedent for future negotiations when mutual benefits align. As we look toward the remainder of this season, the integration of Brandon Carlo into Toronto's defensive system becomes crucial. He'll likely slot in immediately on the right side of the defense, potentially partnering with Jake McCabe or Chris Tanev to form what could become one of the more reliable shutdown pairings in the league. His penalty-killing expertise will be put to immediate use, and his playoff experience will become invaluable as Toronto prepares for what they hope will be a deep postseason run. This trade represents more than just adding a defenseman. It's a statement about Toronto's championship aspiration and their willingness to make bold moves to achieve those goals. Sometimes the best trades are the ones nobody sees coming, and this blockbuster deal between bitter rivals definitely fits that description. What do you think about this stunning trade? Are you excited about what Brandon Carlo brings to the blue line? Or are you worried about giving up Fraser Minten's potential? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know if you think this move puts Toronto over the top in the Eastern Conference. And if this breakdown helped you understand why this trade is such a game changer, make sure to hit that like button. I've got plenty more Maple Leafs analysis coming your way.